Welcome everybody. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. If you have your audio, and I have my camera turned on, so you might be able to see me. If you have any issues, there's a Q&A section on the side of your window. You can drop in any questions or any comments you have throughout the webinar. I'll keep an eye on it as I'm going through things, and I think Ishita and Michael are attending as well, so they might be able to answer some questions as we're going along. So today, this webinar is a new topic for us. It's a question we're getting asked a lot lately. Is obviously we supply TD Snap and we also supply Boardmaker, but is there any way that the two can work together, and in what instances have we seen it work well together in school? So this webinar is just to kind of give some ideas, just give some kind of some of the resources that are available and how TD Snap and Boardmaker do work together, and where the similarities are and where you can use them in different applications and different scenarios, primarily for schools and for classrooms. So without further ado, let's get started. Obviously we are Safecare. My name is Conor Quigley, if you don't know me already. I work a lot in this area for the company, for Safecare, dealing with AAC software and hardware. As a company, Safecare, we have a couple of different areas that we work within, whether it's communication systems, multi-sensory, environmental control, and so on. But today, obviously, we're focusing on communication and assistive technology for schools. So we supply from a range of different companies. The company we're focusing on mainly today is Tobii Dynavox, as they are the developers of both Boardmaker and TD Snap. So they're the company we'll be focusing on mainly. So I suppose for both TD Snap and for Boardmaker, which are two separate softwares, they both use one. I suppose the most common feature amongst both softwares is that they use PCS symbols, which are picture communication symbols. If you work in classrooms, or you're a speech and language therapist, or you work with communication systems, you're probably familiar with some of these symbols, or you recognize the symbols on my screen. Thankfully, in Ireland, we tend to stick. PCS symbol seems to be the symbol that's most predominantly used in this country, whereas in other countries there's a wide variety of different types of symbols, whether it's symbol sticks or Metacom or whatever it may be. So in Ireland it tends to be PCS symbols, which is the type of symbol that's primarily used in Boardmaker and TD Snap. But there are, a lot of you may not know, but there are different types of PCS symbols. So these are the classic PCS symbols, or the eggheads as they're kind of fondly known, which these have been around for years. So these are kind of generic, kind of cartoon-looking symbols that you'd find on, Boardmaker, on communication systems, and so on. Then thin line symbols came out. So these are thin line PCS symbols. So these came out kind of on feedback from users that maybe some people found the classic ones very childlike, or they found that they weren't very gender specific or race specific, etc. So with the thin line ones, obviously you can see they're a little cleaner in their drawing. Obviously you can have different race and gender are more prevalent in the thin line symbols. And from that there, we also have the high contrast symbols. So these were designed for people with visual impairment. So these are on a black background with a high contrast, whether it's a pink, a yellow, or a green color to kind of obviously contrast the symbol. We also have the in context symbols. So these were primarily designed for people with aphasia or from a brain injury or stroke maybe, that may not have learned how to communicate using symbols, or an acquired injury. So in these symbols, you'll find that the people in them tend to be a little bit older. You'll also see a lot of kind of gesturing or pointing, and so you can kind of guess what the symbol is there, maybe without the label, to kind of give people help. And we also have current symbols, so they're constantly updated as well. So now with Boardmaker, and TD Snap, you'll find that, as you can see here, there's lots of symbols now around COVID or Black Lives Matter or whatever current events are going on in the world. At any time, there was a launch of Ukrainian resource symbols recently, so you'll find that there's new symbols released, every 2 weeks now. It's a bi-weekly update on symbols, and they're also localized. So we've done a lot of localization of our symbols here in Ireland. So as you can see, we've made symbols this is only a selection of some of the ones that we've made in Ireland in terms of what have we got on this one. You can see we've got Michael Collins and Father Ted and Tenora and the GAA and Hangover for some reason is Irish. But and again, if we get feedback from our customers, and then we kind of go to Boardmaker and we say, look, these are the symbols we're looking for, and then they'll design them up and they end up on the systems then. So again, if you have any ideas of what you'd like to see on our symbols, just drop us a message and we'll see can we get it made. And then we have a wide topic range. So there's like the different symbols can be categorized, and they can be there's different topics and they can be used in different scenarios. So at the moment it's 50,000 plus symbols. So things like politics or history or core words if we're using it for communication, or if we want to teach curriculum-based stuff or life skills, etc. So lots and lots of symbols constantly added to these categories on a regular basis. So you'll see them kind of pop up in your Boardmaker or in your TD Snap. So and then how do we use these symbols? So now we're going to move on to how would we use if we had TD Snap, if we have Boardmaker, how would we use it? So whether it's for communication, whether it's starting a text system, or you want to use it on a buddy button, the single message device like a buddy button or something like that, creating little kind of communication boards, or you've got a full communication book. So these are what kind of people are tending to use these PCS symbols in, whether they're kind of low-tech resources, creating your books or your PEC system. And then if we look, this is just kind of some images that have been taken from users around the world. So you'll see, in different languages, obviously they've been localized. So in a classroom, you might have a communication board up on the wall. You may be printing and laminating your symbols to help somebody in assistive communication. These on the right here, these communication in playgrounds and school yards. We're seeing these more and more in Ireland, actually. So there's a lot of county councils that started to put these into public playgrounds and parks, where it's in communication boards using these PCS symbols. Then you're going to the beach and you can't bring your high-tech device into the water, so you create a little communication board for the side of your little basket that you're bringing down to the beach, and so on. So there's lots of different applications. I'm sure some of you working in classrooms and speech and language therapists will have loads of examples of other applications that you've seen them use. So that's using these PCS symbols for communication. Behavior, so you can use these PCS symbols for visual schedules. We can create complex strategies if we wanted to. We can do first and thens, etc. So using maybe Boardmaker, and I'll show you how to do this in TD Snap as well, where they've got some of the behavior supports built in as well. We can use these PCS symbols to easily kind of demonstrate and show somebody whether it's a support that we're trying to create in the classroom. So whether it's a first and then or an attendance bin or whatever it may be, we can create these. And I'll show you again between Boardmaker and TD Snap where we might use templates to create these quick and easy. So on a weekly schedule. So here, as we can see again, these may be things you may have in your classroom already, or you may want to create in your classroom. So you may have someone expressing their feelings, or creating a schedule in the bathroom, so a visual schedule on how to wash their hands and so on, or maybe an attendance bin, or the visual schedule what they're doing today, or turn taking, or whatever it be. I'm sure a lot of you have seen these, or you've created them yourself. So again, these are just examples of how we use these PCS symbols using these applications for behavior. Participation, so supports to make them creating resources to help with their education and their curriculum, so we can here we've got let's put the flag in the correct of the country in the correct bin. Here we've got things around biology, and then we've got recipes and things like that. So again, these are, we've got bingo games, and again, you'll see all these probably in a bit more detail when I go through the templates. But here's just an example of what a finished product might be. So you might be doing a cookery class in school, and you want to show the recipe, but you want to use symbols for the person so they can follow the recipe and so on and so forth. So again, here's some nice pictures from within the classroom, and here are some people using high-tech devices as well as those low-tech symbols or those low-tech resources. So you can have that mix, and again, I'll show you how to move between the two, for your classroom. And then we also have printable communication books. So we can do things where we have our templates, and whether it's in TD Snap or Boardmaker, we can create these resources and have a nice kind of all-inclusive classroom where we've got people that may be using a high-tech resource like TD Snap or a low-tech paper-based resources that we've made from Boardmaker 7, and we can all kind of share and participate with our resources that we've created in our classroom. So that's let me just move on. So how do we do this? So in Boardmaker, we use Boardmaker 7 is the latest version of Boardmaker. So we use what's called the editor, which is a new, it's the new software for Boardmaker. So if you're on an older version of Boardmaker, if you're still using this, etc., this Boardmaker 7 is the latest version of Boardmaker, and I'll give you a quick kind of demo of it and how it works and how we create our resources and how we create those templates. And then in TD Snap, I'm going to focus on the behavior supports, what our print options are within TD Snap, and then we're also going to look at how Boardmaker itself can integrate directly with TD Snap. So TD Snap is primarily a communication software, which I'm not going to go into a huge amount about the communication side today. We have other webinars on that, but I'm going to show you those links of how we use these supports and how to create even resources using TD Snap today. So it's quite detailed. So let's move on to the demo, which is, I'm sure you've don't want to be sitting here looking at me on PowerPoint for the afternoon. So let's move over to Boardmaker. Okay, so this is Boardmaker 7. So this is the editor of it. So in it, once you open it up, you download the software onto your computer, and all the resources that you create are stored here, so you can go back and you can see everything you've ever created and start editing or changing it. You can create folders up here to store them and organize things and categorize things, whatever it may be. But if you wanted to create new resources, I can click into new here. I can either go with blank, recently used, printable, interactive are my favorites. So I'm not going to start from blank today, but if you're used to Boardmaker, if you've done Boardmaker before, there are some new features in it, but you probably manage at that from the start. And we do have other webinars and learning videos to show you how to create resources from scratch. But I'm going to focus on the templates today, just to kind of show you. So printable and interactive. So I'm going to focus on printable first. So when I click on printable, all these templates come up. So they're categorized on the left here. So I've got things like activities to go. In here, I've got like board games, bingo, matching games, etc. And again, you can scroll through them all and have a look. If I go to behavior supports, you can see here I've got a completion prompt, I've got a first and then chart, I've got another first and then chart, I've got goals of the week, I've got student rewards, I've got reinforcers, etc. So if I wanted to have a look and see, what does this template look like? So I can, click on it here, and then I can select from sample. So what this is going to do is it's going to show me a sample of a finished first and then template. So if I select this, it brings it up, and here's my first and then, and that's my page 1. So I print this out, I might stick this on the wall, or I might laminate it, etc. And then in here, this is the first and then about maybe a morning routine. So it says here, add the symbols and the labels to the buttons below, print and cut out the buttons and place 2 of the items on the first then chart. So I can print this out directly, I can cut along the dotted lines, and I can then, laminate and stick Velcro on the back of them, and I might do, first I brush teeth, then I get dressed. I stick them onto my board here. So if I say, okay, that's the first and then that I might use. So I return to my dashboard. I'm not going to save this. I'll click on new, printable, behavior supports. And if I wanted to create one from this, I would click create. And now when I click create, these 4 are empty. So if I wanted to search for a symbol, so if I wanted to, I don't know, sit at desk. Let's see, do I have something here? I can look for a symbol. So I can go, I'm going to just click sit, and I'm going to drag this over, put it here, and then I'm going to, maybe look at feature. I'm just going to do 2 to keep this kind of moving along. So then I'm going to have this. So now I can, I can obviously add another 2 there if I wanted to, but if this is the first and then I could just print this out, cut these, and stick them to my first and then. So very quick, in the space of, a minute, I've created a first and then from a template about, a classroom routine that I might have. So very, very quick and easy. I can return to my dashboard. I am going to save this. I'm just going to call it webinar today or something. So I'm going to save it. And just put it on my system. So when I go back to my Boardmaker, that'll pop up here. So you can see my webinar. So it'll always be there for me to use if I want to edit it or change it. It's there. So let's go back to these templates and have a look. It'll pop up in my recently used as well. So whatever I used last will pop up in my recently used. If it's something that I really like, I can add it to my favorites. And then it'll always pop up in my favorites. So I'll have a little star here. So instead of having to go through and look for it each time, I can do that. So that's my behavior support. Books and presentations. I might want to create a book, a paper-based book for somebody. And, so let's have a look. This one is book with text above. This one is book with text above portrait, and so on. So let's have a look at one of these. So again, I want to have a look and see with text below. I'll select from sample. So I can go in here and it says mammals. Actually, I can press play up here if I wanted to have a better look at it. So mammals, they are everywhere. So and so on, and I can go through it. So I'm going to stop that. And if I want to create my own book, say, okay, that's a good template. I only have to add a photo, a picture, and some text. I return to my dashboard. I'm not going to save this. I'm going to go new, printable, books and presentations, text below, create. And now it's telling me, look, I got to put my title here, put a picture in here, and I can just drag and drop everything in here. So the templates are done for me. It's nicely laid out. It's all kind of, the margins are correct. So when I go to print it, I'm not going to have things kind of flying out from different areas and stuff like that. It'll all work out smoothly. So again, I can create my own books. I could have a child that really likes Gruffalo or something like that, and I can create that. I can create that from scratch as well. So if I go to new, let's keep going down through the some of the templates. So they're books. I can create calendars. So I've got, obviously we're past 2021, so we're on 22. So I can create my own calendar, and I can drop in birthdays and important dates and stuff like that are relevant. So I've got all of those right out to 2025. Communication. So again, I've got kind of pre-made out pages. So if I want low-tech communication boards, if I want to create a textbook, etc., I can do so from here. And I've got kind of blank grids. I've got a keyboard page, symbol cutouts, etc. But these two here are very interesting and have been very popular since the release of Boardmaker 7. So these are full communication books that are kind of a low-tech version of TD Snap. So they come in 2 sizes, a 6x6 and a 7x9. So let's go to the 6x6 and I click create. So in this, the kind of instructions tell me, look, cut along the dotted lines on the right and bottom edges of each page, cut out the tab. The final page keyboard doesn't need to be cut at all. Laminate the pages, cut around each page, including the tab, leave an arrow edge, and so on and so forth. So it's giving you, I don't know, can you kind of see that? It's giving you kind of, this is what it looks like at the end. You can put a little ring binder on it. If I play it, can I play that communication book? I can. So this is kind of what it looks like when I print it out. I can say, I can put in this book belongs to Connor. My first page is my core words page. As you can see, I've got my tab here. So if I'm cutting it out, this core will kind of be left out as a tab. I can edit all these symbols if I want. So if I wanted to put in different words on my core page, I could do so. I move on to my personal words. So in here, I'm going to drag in what words are personal to me or what vocab I want on this page. I've got my little words. As you can see, my tab here is for little words. I've got my actions. So I've got my action words. I've got my descriptive words. I've got my quick fires. So I might have quick messages here that I want to say, I need to use the bathroom, or bye, or hi, or I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, etc. And then I've got some topics, which again, these are just a sample of topics. Change them if needs be. If reading isn't the topic you want, and you want something around, the classroom, or colors, or so on, feel free to kind of change all these. So this is just the kind of sample of what it looks like, but it's all kind of laid out for you in a communication book. So if you have somebody that may be using TD Snap for the communication system, which is a high-tech version, you might want a low-tech version of it as well for those instances, maybe when the battery is dead, or you're in the swimming pool, or you're in an area where it's not applicable to bring your communication device for whatever reason. You might want a low-tech backup, or you might be wanting to see as somebody a candidate for a high-tech system, and we say, okay, how are they getting on with this kind of symbol-based communication system? Instead, before investing in a high-tech device, let's try a low-tech resource to see how it goes. Very, very handy resource. And as I said, when you're here, like these pages, you can edit them all. Like if I have a page around animals or something like that, let's grab dog, I can drag in dog. I can edit this to suit my own communication book and make it very handy. And here, just as you can see, I don't know, can you see these? But when I search dog, this is the thin line version of dog. When I was talking about the different PCS, this is the high contrast version. This is your kind of classic. Here's your in context. So you can actually see you've got all these different options for dog. So, there's before you had to buy kind of extra discs and stuff like that and kind of have different licenses, but they're all included now. So you get all the different types. So you can see there's lots of different types of symbols for dog, just for searching dog. So, sorry, I digress a little bit, but that's a nice communication book that's in Boardmaker. So again, look, I'll skip down through a few of these. You've got things like exploring, you've got flashcards, templates. You've got games, so we can see here we've got board games, and whether they're snakes and ladders. Let's have a look at the sample. So here's a board game. We can do it in black and white. Here are the rules. Put your playing pieces on start square. When it's your turn, draw a question card, and so on. Then we've got some which of these describes Christmas, which Raisins Day, and so on. So lots and lots of resources here for you to kind of work your way through and have a look through all the templates and see what would work for you in the classroom. So so they were games. We've got matching. So if we want to match pairs, or we want to do, let's match the, I'll just keep opening samples here. Like draw a line between the matching items. So the hat and the head, socks and the feet, gloves and the hands, and shirt and chest. And obviously you can mix and match these around so that they're not all linear and so on. So and create your own. Obviously, I'm only looking at the samples here. I'm not creating these. So printable. You've got things like maths. So we've got number charts. We've got graphs. So we've got bar charts, bar graphs, picture graphs. We've got patterns, complete patterns. So again, you might put in 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on, and complete patterns. Questions. So you got multiple choice questions and so on. So all these templates are laid out for you. You just have to drop in the activity that you might be doing in the classroom. So it's really quick and easy for you to create those kind of lesson plans or resources that you wanted to do in the classroom using these templates. You might have sequencing, put these in order, you cut them out, and it's up to the child to put them back in order. Sorting in groups and so on. Visual scenes. So again, find the object. Let's have a look at one of the samples of these. So again, find the objects that start with B. So you got ball, bag, bear, bee, bike, boat, book, bug, bat, and bus. So obviously the person has to find them. And again, we've got it in a kind of a more black and white version, and then I colored it and so on and so forth. So so again, these are kind of things you're probably already doing in the classroom, but the templates are now there for you to kind of do them very, very quickly. And again, I'm only looking at samples. I didn't create these. These are already there. So once you go to create, they'll be blank, and you can add in what you want. Visual schedule. So obviously, people that are using 5-step horizontal, 8 steps. finished box, 10 steps. So lots of different kind of visual schedules that you can create for the classroom, print them out, laminate them, stick a bit of Velcro on the back of them, and away you go. Some vocab boxes, some word studies. If you want me to, like in the Q&A on the left-hand side there, if you want me to, if I skipped over something really quick or you want to look at something in more detail, just drop it in there and I'd see can I come back to it at the end if we have time. And then we've got our writing boxes. So we've got, opinion writing, paragraph, and picture writing. So again, these are different confidence levels, might use different levels of this. So again, lots and lots of samples in here for you to kind of get started and to use it. And you can get started really quickly. What's new to a lot of people using Boardmaker is there's also an interactive section. So an interactive section is, so maybe for some of our users, paper-based resources aren't applicable. Maybe they may have mobility issues, or they may be using a high-tech device. They might be a switch scanner, they might be an eye gaze user, or they might have an I-110 or something like that. So we can now, use these templates and activities using the technology that we have in the classroom. So maybe, for example, we're doing a sorting. So let's have a look at a sorting, or maybe sequencing is a bit easier, it's only 3 steps. So if I go to 3 steps horizontal, so I can select from sample here. So this is place the life cycle of a chicken in the correct order. Okay, so this sample is already set up for us. So I can press play up here. And now it's jumbled these up. So the user themselves, they can use the computer I'm working on in the classroom. So they might use the teacher's laptop, or they might have their own laptop, or they might have their iPad, or whatever it may be. They can then, put things in order.
That's right. Egg is the first item. That's right. Chick is the second item. That's right. Chicken is the third item.
So again, they can then...
Good job. You put them all in order.
I'm using my mouse, obviously, here for this webinar, and the user, of course, can do that using the mouse on the computer, or they could use, if it's on a touchscreen, they can use their finger and drag it down. If they're using an eye gaze system, they can look at the button and it'll go down and so on. So it's applicable for people with different access methods, basically. So let's return to dashboard. I am going to save this one because I'll come back to it in a minute. I'll just call this chicken. I'll save that. Of course, I'll already use this. Let's call it chicken. Okay, so I was able to save chicken too. Again, there's lots and lots of different templates here. I won't go into all of them. Another one that's very popular are books. So again, maybe people that are using different access methods that may not be able to turn pages on books, etc. They can use interactive ones here. So if I go into, let's have a look at this sample. I can select from sample, and I can play this book. So again, I'm just going to press play. So that's a fact. The user can press read page.
That's a fact.
So it'll read it for them. They can talk about it. So if I click this, it'll bring up some vocab and some phrases.
I don't understand. What does that mean?
What
does that mean?
I can turn the page. So again, if you think of somebody that's using a switch or an eye gaze or system or something like that, that gives them control of a book. They can read. You can do a shared reading activity or something like that. So again, I can have it read the page.
I love origami.
And so on, and they can use the vocab. There is also some. I'll come out of this. Return to my dashboard. Go to new, interactive, books and presentations. You also have some recordable books here. So if you want to get, I know how you teachers and people working in classes love to sing and to get involved in this stuff. You can record your voice into these books, and you might be the voice that reads it out, or you might sing into it, or whatever it may be. If you've got a particular book that you're doing, you can drop in, again, I'm only using the samples, but you can create whatever book you want. It tells you here, type in your book title below, place the symbol in the picture, record in what you want, and it'll record in your voice and so on. And when you go to play it, it'll play it. So, so lots of different options there in the interactive. So this is not a relatively new feature for Boardmaker. It's been out a while, but a lot of people probably aren't as familiar with it. So there's look, your printable and your interactive, the templates, how to create those resource classrooms. There's loads and loads of them there, loads to kind of save you lots of time and to get you up and running. There's also, before I move off Boardmaker, there's the community. So if I press community here, I'll just open on my other screen, I'll bring it over here. So it brings you into the Boardmaker community. All right, brings you into the, here we go. It brings you into the Boardmaker community. So in here, you'll find lots and lots of resources that people have already created. So Boardmaker users from around the world, teachers, therapists, care assistants, users, when they create a resource, sometimes they upload it into this community. It's free to do so. It's free to join this community. And so you'll find, and they may have broken them down into different categories. So you'll see like therapy tools, teacher tools, curriculum, life skills, etc. So you can go in there and you can search for things. So if you want to say the Gruffalo, because I mentioned it already. Gruffalo. Yeah, so we can see here somebody's created like Gruffalo Bingo. Somebody's created Gruffalo Pets visuals, picture supports for the Gruffalo topic board, the Gruffalo read aloud vocab card. So let's have a look at the topic board. So I can say, okay, somebody has created a topic board based around the Gruffalo. So we might say, right, I'm going to print this out and I'm going to use it when we're reading Gruffalo to work on a communication. So all I have to do is press plus, and now that's added to my activities. So now I have it. I can go back to my Boardmaker here, and sometimes it takes a minute or two to come down, but we can see here it's in my Boardmaker. So I'm back here in my editor. It takes a second or two to convert it and download it. And once I have it, I can actually edit it, and I can do what I want with it then, basically. I can see I have it. So there, without me creating anything, and I'm saying, right, okay, I'm going to class today. We're actually going to read Gruffalo. I'm going to check in the community. Has anyone done anything around the Gruffalo? Brilliant. Somebody's created a communication board around it. I'm just going to take that, print it out. I don't know what Donald Duck and Pluto and stuff have to do with it, but that's what that teacher wants to do with it, and so on and so forth. So, sometimes before you even create it, it might be in the templates, but have a look in the community. Somebody may have already created something similar that you're looking for. And if I wanted to edit these, if I didn't want Donald Duck there, I could put in a different symbol, and I could search for something else and put it in. I can edit it, but a lot of the work may already be done for me. So the community has lots and lots of resources in there for you to use. So that's kind of using the templates and the community within Boardmaker 7. One thing I'll just want to draw your attention to is that there will be this folder called Snap Activities in your Boardmaker 7. So if I drop anything into that, I'll just drop the Gruffalo one in there for now. But just that's a folder for organization that works with your TD Snap. So I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but just bear in mind that will be in your Boardmaker when you have it. So okay, so I'm going to move on to TD Snap here. So let me find TD Snap. Okay, so the things I wanted to focus on in TD Snap are, look, I'm not going to go into the communication side of it or the operational side of it or anything like that. I just want to focus on things that kind of link with Boardmaker and are similar to Boardmaker. So and how for somebody that may already be using TD Snap, how you can use the similarities between two. So the first thing you'll notice is it's using PCS symbols as well. So it is using the PCS symbols the same as Boardmaker. So for somebody that's using this for the communication system and Boardmaker for their classroom activities, the similarity there and the symbol recognition will be the same. So that's one big plus when you're using the two systems within your classroom. So we talked about the behavior supports in Boardmaker, where we can create visual schedules and we can create firsts and thens. We have a similar kind of a system within TD Snap as well. So if we go to the topics page, which is over here on the left, I can go into any topic. So let's say we're playing bubbles in the class or whatever, something we click.
Can we do bubbles? Get the bubbles. It landed on me.
So we're doing our communication piece. We've got our phrases there. We've got our positives. We've got our negatives, etc. We've got our questions. But over here, we'll see the supports button. So you'll see the supports button in every topic. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. So you'll see the supports button in every topic. So when I click on the supports, in here, these are called the behavior supports within TD Snap. So the first one is the visual timer. So I can click on the visual timer and this red line starts to go down. The default is 5 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, an alarm will go off. So we might say, hey, Connor, I need your attention for 5 minutes, or we need a timeout for a certain amount of time, and we're going to use our system, and so on. You're still able to use TD Snap, so it doesn't restrict you from using TD Snap in any such way. It's just the kind of visual support to see how much time we want to use. But you can see, look, we can set up visual timers for any time. So if I want for a minute or and so on and so forth, I can do that as well. So there's the bubbles, go to support. So that's the first one. The next one where it says blow bubbles, I have a first and then. So
First, open the lid. Then, use the bubble one to blow.
So unlike Boardmaker, I'm getting that kind of audible feedback from it. So when I press it, it speaks basically. So for some kids that works really, really well. So so again, and I can edit these to suit. These are the kind of default ones. If I want to change it to first we blow the bubbles, then we pop them, etc. I can do that as well. I can change it and I can edit it. So that's blow bubbles. When I click on, and we can see our visual timer is still clocking down here. I might as well leave it keep going. So the next one is bubbles. So this is our visual schedule around bubbles. So we can expand that first and then to 4 kind of items. So
First, get out the bubbles. Next, carefully blow without knocking over the bottle. Then, put the wand back in the bottle. Last, clean up.
So and so that's my visual schedule. Again, I can change these to suit. I can, you know, if I wanted a different type of schedule, I can do that. I can also create scripts. So if I wanted a kind of linear format of my conversation, I can do that as well. So
I love bubbles. Look, it's going high. I want to catch it.
and then I can also create a social story.
When I want to blow bubbles, I'll ask an adult to help me get set up. The wand that comes in the bottle will come out and have bubble solution in the middle. I gently blow the bubble solution to watch the bubbles go.
And so on and so forth. And again, all of these can be edited, all of these can be changed, and so on. So no matter what topic I go into, so if I go to classroom, which is my conversational piece around classroom.
What are we doing today? I need to go to class. I need a pencil. I get it. I don't know.
I have this supports button over here. And again, I got my visual timer, but if I click on go to seat, this is my first and then for the classroom.
First, go to my seat. Then, open my book.
And then I got my visual schedule.
First, sit at desk. Next, open the book.
And so on. And you've got my script. And I've got my my social story. Again, I can create my own. I'm not going to go into detail how we do this. We have lots of videos on the how-to. Today isn't about how-to, but if I want to create a first and then about, I don't know, the playground. Oop, handy if I spelled it right. Playground. I just click add action. I'm going to search first. Again, if I spelled it right, it would be handy. First then, click on that. So first, eat lunch. Next, go to playground. So, symbol if it works. It's like playground. There we go. Done. Okay, save. And again, very quickly done.
Playground. First, eat lunch. Then, go to playground.
So you can very quickly, again, I need a little help with the how-to piece of it. We do have videos specifically on how to create that on our YouTube channel. If you go to our YouTube channel and look for behavior support, we'll show you how to create those first and thens and the visual schedules. But again, you can create all of your own to suit the student or whoever's using it that works for them in the classroom. You can create all your first and thens and your schedules, etc. So there, in every topic, they have kind of sample ones. So if we're playing games, you know.
Let's play a new game. You pick something.
I go to my supports, and this is around Uno. So you might be playing Uno in class, so you might want a different first and then when you're for your games topic, and so on and so forth. And we've got things like, you know, Mr. Potato Head. So we've got words and phrases around Mr. Potato Head, and when I go into my supports, we got first.
First, get the parts. Then, put them on the face.
Okay, so very, very kind of simple and easy to use, and they're also, I know I did it quickly, but they are actually quite easy to create. So that's one of the features of the behavior support. As you can see, there's similarities between Boardmaker and TD Snap. So if the user is using both of those softwares, they'll have good familiarity between how they look and how they feel with all the symbols and so on. So obviously we looked at the communication piece in Boardmaker 7 as well, where there's the printable communication books and so on and so forth. But if you have somebody that is using TD Snap and you've already edited it and you've created it to kind of suit the person, and you're kind of saying, I don't want to go and have to recreate everything in Boardmaker as well when I need to use a low-tech version of this, because there are times when you'll need to use a low-tech version of your system. There's a print option in TD Snap. So if I go to edit and I click on page, which is down here, you'll see there's a printer icon over here. So when I click that, it automatically selects the page I'm on. So I'm on the core words page. If I wanted to add more pages, I could do that here. I can just, but I'm not going to for now. I'm just going to click next. And when I print it, it's showing what I print. Do I want a message bar when I print it? Possibly not. So I'll take that out. Do I want a toolbar? Possibly not, because it's only a piece of paper and tools aren't going to do anything. Do I want the link visualization, which is kind of arrows and stuff like that? I can turn that off, and then I can just print it. So now I've got exactly what my system looks like, my high-tech system. I've got it printed out in paper. I can laminate it, so I always have that backup. So if the battery's dead or anything like that on the device, or if I'm out and about and you've forgotten it, at least you can revert back to the paper and the person can get their message across really, really quickly and easy. And it saves you having to redo it in Boardmaker. So again, if I've gone into topics, and let's see if I've created a topic, if I personalize this around, my dog, and I put in a picture of my dog, and I've done, my horse, because I've got lots of animals, and I like to go to, Cork. Let's see if we go to Cork. I got Cork City. And so on and so forth. And then I say, you know what, I don't really want to go back to Boardmaker and print that out. I can just click page and click print, because this is personalized to me. Next, and you can see this will print out that page just for me, and I've got a low-tech version of my high-tech system. So always nice to have and quick and easy to do. If you want to, so all you got to do is link it with your printer, and you can link your device with your printer, and you can start to print it out. So that's the printing function and the behavior supports. Two quite easy uses within TD Snap. So the other thing I wanted to show you is how Boardmaker links directly into TD Snap. So if you've got a TD Snap user and they have a Boardmaker account, you can create this button. I call it Boardmaker down here. It's very easy to do. So once I go in here, it'll actually open up my Boardmaker folder. So do you remember I talked about this folder here, Snap Activities? Whatever is in that folder will show up on TD Snap. So you can see here my Gruffalo topic board. So I just need to load it that we created, that I stole from the community. I don't actually have it on my TD Snap. It won't. This is a paper-based thing, so it won't speak. But this is a resource that I created, and straight away I can put it onto my TD Snap. So the user themselves, they might have a specific communication device like an iPhone 10, or they might have an SC tablet, or they may have an eye gaze system, and it may be difficult for them to come outside of the ecosystem that is TD Snap to use any other resources. We can keep it all within TD Snap. They do not have to leave to even open Boardmaker. It'll work directly in TD Snap. So there's also there's free resources in here. So there's things like with the math tools, and we can see there's things like a calculator. So in my TD Snap, I can go in and I can start using a calculator. So I could be in a topic here for, I don't know, classroom or something, and we could be talking about this, and then I need to go back and I need to use, my calculator or whatever it may be to support math. So we get this a lot as that kind of link between curriculum and their communication system. So we can do
5,008 times 6 equals 35,274.
So they can use a calculator within their communication system. So they're using those resources that are within Boardmaker. I go back, and you've got things like those books. So again, people that are on communication systems that might want to start reading books, and the paper resources don't really work for them. So let's go into Go Fish. It'll load the book for us. The user, again, from their own system, can have it read aloud.
Go Fish.
They can turn the page themselves.
Go big. Go small.
And so on and so forth. So really nice. And then if you've created your own resources, so created it first and then and so on. So let's go back to my board maker. So the other one was the chicken that remember I created as a template, and we're saying, okay, I want that to open on TD Snap. I'll just drag it up. I'll put it in my Snap activities, and it's in there now. And so I'll probably have to go out. Sometimes it can take a minute or two to load, but let's see, is it going straight away? There it is, chicken. So I can open up chicken 2 within this, and the user themselves, it's already in order for them, but
That's right. That's right.
When they play it again.
That's right. Chicken is the third item.
So
Good job.
without leaving TD Snap, they can use Boardmaker. And so it's really nice. It's really simple to do, really easy to do. And what you can also do is link kind of some of these tools together directly with the communication. So say, for example, I'm in a topic here and we're playing a game, okay? And we're saying it's, what game are we going to play? We're going to play Monopoly, okay? But the user I'm working with has the mobility issues. They can't roll a dice, So we're using our system here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on this button, I'm going to bring this up, add an action. So I'm going to type in Boardmaker here. So I'm going to open a Boardmaker activity or folder. So here I can specifically pick a specific Boardmaker activity. So it was under math tools, and I'm going to pick the dice, and I'm going to select the activity, and I'm going to press done. So we're going to say, okay,
do you want to play a game?
yes, we're going to play a turn again. So it's your turn.
It is your turn.
So we need to roll the dice. So
3.
great, we've got 3. So let's go back. Okay, that's great.
I like this game.
Now it's my turn.
It is my turn.
I roll the dice. So again, these are just kind of quick little techniques and little kind of add-ons to our communication system that can make it more kind of enjoyable and accessible for our users. So they can use that link between those kind of tools that Boardmaker have and integrate it directly within our TD Snap. So that's kind of what I was going to show you today. There's a little bit of how-to in some of those and so on, but get in touch if you think some of this is might be good for your classroom. If you're working in a classroom, or you're a speech and language therapist or a teacher supporting a classroom that uses these kind of softwares, if you don't already know, you can avail of the professional license of TD Snap. So you can put it on the school iPad and things like that, and you can work with kids. And then, of course, contact us if you need Boardmaker as well. So I hope that kind of gave you, it wasn't, as I said, it's a new webinar for us, so I'd like to hear the feedback, whether you thought it was good or it was clear to understand or confusing. That feedback is always very good, so we can kind of tailor make them for the next time, make them better. So if you found any of that useful or not useful, or you found it confusing or anything, any feedback is good feedback. So happy to take. That's kind of what I was going to cover today.